What's up, Hurricane fans? This is going to be a really quick one today because I just learned the insane story behind Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. And trust me when I tell you, the script for this national championship game feels so unrealistic that Hollywood would probably reject it for being too perfect. It's a storyline you guys are going to be hearing a lot over the next few days. The central character is Fernando Mendoza, and he's about to play the most significant game of his life just minutes away from the exact location where he was born. To understand the magnitude of this moment, you got to understand the geography. Mendoza grew up just a mile away from the University of Miami's campus. He spent his childhood breathing the same air and walking the same streets as the legends of Hurricane football. He attended Columbus High School, which is practically a feeder system for the University of Miami. His mother was a star athlete for the Hurricanes in tennis. Every single arrow in his life pointed him toward wearing the orange and green. But he didn't want to just play for Miami. He wanted to be the next great leader of the program he worshiped. He did everything required to earn that spot, including winning a state championship right in their backyard. But when the time came to make his dream a reality, the door was slammed in his face. Mendoza wanted it so badly that he was willing to join the team as a walk-on. He was ready to sacrifice a scholarship to play for free just to represent his city. However, the Miami coaching staff at the time, led by Manny Diaz, didn't even think that he was worth a roster spot. They looked at a future Heisman Trophy winner and decided that they had no use for him. That single decision set off a chain reaction that has led us to this unbelievable championship matchup. Mendoza was forced to leave his home and travel thousands of miles to find a coach willing to take a risk on him. He had to build himself up from nothing at Cal and then eventually transfer to Indiana. You would think that distance would separate his path from Miami forever. But fate clearly had a different plan. Mendoza is returning to his hometown, not as a backup, not as a hopeful walk-on. He's walking into that stadium as the quarterback for Indiana and the winner of the 2025 Heisman Trophy. And that's just wild to think about. The University of Miami brands itself as quarterback U. They built their legacy on names like Bernie Kosar, Jim Kelly, Vinny Testaverde, and even Cam Ward. Yet the best quarterback in the nation this year is a local kid that got away. They let him go out of high school, and then they missed on him again in the transfer portal. Now he's bringing the Heisman Trophy back to Miami, but it belongs to another school. But this homecoming isn't about just showing off a trophy. It's about exorcising a demon that has likely haunted Mendoza for over a year. You've got to look back at the 2024 season to understand the psychological warfare at play here. This isn't the first time Mendoza has tried to take down his parents' alma mater. In October of 2024, Mendoza welcomed the Miami Hurricanes to Berkeley when he was playing for Cal. He played like a man possessed that night. He threw for nearly 300 yards and shredded the defense of a team he grew up cheering for. He built a massive 35-10 lead in the third quarter. It looked like he was going to single-handedly destroy Miami's season. But then the unthinkable happened, and I'm sure you guys all remember that night well. Miami staged a miraculous comeback. They erased that 25-point lead and stole the game by a single point with a final score of 39-38. Mendoza had played a perfect game, but he still walked off the field with a loss. The game proved two things that make this rematch absolutely fascinating. First, it proved that Mendoza has the talent to cause some problems for that Miami defense. Second, it proved that closing out a game against your childhood team is a mental hurdle that is incredibly hard to clear. That loss in 2024 was a heartbreak, but it set the stage for the ultimate redemption arc in 2025. Now he gets a second chance on the biggest stage possible. But there is one final layer to this story that makes it truly historic. This isn't just a battle between a player and a program. It's a battle between two families that are deeply intertwined. The head coach standing on the opposite sideline is Mario Cristobal. Cristobal is a Cuban-American from Miami who also attended Columbus High School. The connection goes even deeper, though, of course, than just sharing a high school. Mario Cristobal and Fernando Mendoza's father were high school teammates in the late 1980s. They played on the same field, and they wore the same colors, and they come from the same community. Now the son of one teammate is trying to ruin the championship dreams of another teammate. This is arguably the most significant cultural moment in the history of Miami sports regarding the Cuban-American community. You have the opposing head coach and the opposing quarterback representing the same heritage on the national stage. It's a moment of immense pride for the city, regardless of who wins. But once the ball is kicked off, that pride turns to pure tension. Cristobal knows exactly who Mendoza is because he surely sees himself in him. He knows the fire that burns inside a Columbus High quarterback. He knows the pressure Mendoza feels to perform in front of his family and friends. Mendoza has to look across that field at a man who is a legend in his own community and then try and beat him. He has to block out the noise of the city that raised him. He has to forget the 25-point lead he blew the last time they met. He has to ignore the fact that he is playing in a stadium that he dreamed of as a child. The universe has conspired to bring all of these elements together for one final game. A rejected walk-on returning as a Heisman winner. A rematch of a 39-38 thriller. And a battle between family, friends, and high school connections. If you wrote this script for a movie, people would probably say it's too cliche. But this is real life, and we're about to watch it unfold. One of these hometown heroes is going to become a national champion. The other is going to watch their fairy tale story turn into a tragedy. The only thing we know for sure is that you can't look away. Canes fans, make sure you are subscribed to ACC Football Addiction. If any of you want to take me to this game on Monday night, you're welcome to reach me by the email in the info. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you on the next one.